Have you ever wondered why, even after achieving everything you wanted, there is a lingering thirst that no amount of money can quench? Most people spend their entire lives digging wells in the wrong places. They dig into careers, they dig into relationships, they dig into social status, hoping to find a drop of peace. But the wells run dry. Today, we are unlocking the ancient secret of a success that doesn't fade. A success that isn't dependent on your background, your caste, or your mistakes. We are talking about the fountain of life. The Bible tells us of a woman who chose to go to the well at the 6th hour high noon. Why? Because the heat of the sun was easier to bear than the coldness of human judgment. She was an outcast. Rejected by her village. Labeled by her past. She had 5 husbands, and the man she was with wasn't hers. She was the definition of a failed life in the eyes of the world. But here is the first secret of spiritual success. Jesus didn't have time for religious debates, but he had all the time in the world for a broken soul. While the religious leaders were arguing about which mountain to worship on and who was pure enough to talk to God, Jesus was sitting at a well in the heat of the day, waiting for one rejected woman. Jesus asked her, "Give me a drink." She was shocked. "You're a Jew, I'm a Samaritan. We don't mix. Why are you even talking to me?" Jesus looked at her and said, "If you only knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water." Think about that. She was looking at a physical well, worried about a physical jar. But Jesus was showing her a fountain that lived inside of him. He told her that whoever drinks of the water the world gives will thirst again. But the water he gives, it becomes a spring within you, welling up to eternal life. You might be sitting there thinking, "I am not like that woman. I haven't made those mistakes. But I also don't feel like a success." Perhaps you feel small. Maybe you feel like you are from the wrong family or the least tribe. The source of spiritual success is often found in the people the world ignores. Look at Gideon. Gideon was hiding. He was from the weakest clan in Manasseh, and he was the least in his father's house. He felt like a zero. But when God looked at him, he didn't see a coward in a winepress. He said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Just like the Samaritan woman, Gideon was chosen not because of his status but because God wanted to show that success comes from the source, not the person. When the Samaritan woman realized who Jesus was, she dropped her jar. She forgot her shame. She ran back to the very town that had rejected her and cried, "Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did." One woman, one outcast, became the key to an entire city's salvation. That is spiritual success. It's not about how much you have, it's about how much of the living water is flowing through you to others. But how do you keep this fountain flowing? How do you ensure your success isn't just a one-time miracle? Consider the story of the widow and the oil. She was in debt. She was about to lose her children to slavery. All she had was a tiny jar of oil. Elisha told her, "Go, borrow empty jars from all your neighbors. Don't ask for just a few." This is the secret of the internal spring. The oil only stopped flowing when there were no more jars to receive it. Spiritual success is about your capacity. If you keep your life open to God, if you keep bringing Him your empty jars, your needs, your prayers, your time, the fountain will never run dry. But look at the discipline required here. She had to shut the door. She had to focus. She couldn't be distracted by the gossip of the neighbors or the religious noise of the street. If you want to be a fountain of life, you must protect your time. Jesus didn't waste time arguing with the Pharisees who wanted to debate rituals. He moved toward his assignment. Are you wasting your oil on people who don't want to grow? Are you sitting in meetings that have no spiritual fruit? To be a success, you must learn to walk away from the noise and stay in the presence of the source. The living water is free, but the flow is maintained by your character. You cannot have a fountain of life in your heart if you are pouring poison into your soul. Many people want the blessing, but they don't want the holiness. Success in the Spirit requires a radical commitment to perfection, not the perfection of never making a mistake but the perfection of always turning back to the light. Think about the discipline it takes to stay clean in a dirty world. If you find yourself falling into the same traps, the same anger, the same lust, the same lies, you must treat it like a serious debt. Some spiritual giants would find themselves when they slipped up. They would say, "If I waste time on my phone today instead of in prayer, I will pay a price to my soul." Why? Because they knew that even a small leak can drain a massive tank. Your spiritual success depends on your focus. If you are looking at your background, your bank account or your past, you are looking at the dry ground. But if you look at the fountain, you realize that God can make you a mighty warrior even if you are the least in your house. The invitation is open. The same Jesus who sat at the well in Samaria is sitting at the well of your life. He isn't asking for your resume. He isn't asking for your family tree. He is asking for your thirst. He wants to turn your life into a testimony. He wants people to look at you, the one they rejected, the one they laughed at, the one they thought would never amount to anything, and see a fountain of life. When the Samaritan woman found the secret, her whole village was changed. When you find this secret, your family will change. Your children will walk in a success that isn't earned by sweat but by grace. Your success will be the kind that shuts the mouths of your enemies. They will look at your life and realize that human hands didn't build this. This is the work of the living God. Stop digging dry wells. Start drinking from the fountain. Share this with someone who needs to remember who they are. God bless you.